Hello, friends, neighbors. John, your neighbor here. Welcome down the Nook. Welcome to Saturday. And today I'm going to talk about a couple of independent bottle releases from Dràm Mòr, an independent bottler company. A little bit to the idea, because these are probably not available on the shelf anymore. But the idea of what does an independent bottle get us, like a bottler, provide kind of the community, and we are heading into Christmas and thinking of a gift idea, but in this way, it would be for someone who's pretty into whiskey. If you're going to pick up an independent bottle, I suggest that's for someone who's quite a bit down the whiskey journey and not a new whiskey drinker. So, specifically, I want to talk about these couple of releases. I've got a Glenrothes 9-year-old and an Inchfad 14. So if you have any of Dràm Mòr or something heavy sherried, something a little peated, why don't you pour a dram? Come on back. We'll just share some whiskey. 3, 4. Thanks for coming back. As I said, this is about the independent bottler Dràm Mòr. Dràm Mòr, I believe, was started in 2021 by a couple. Is it Victoria and Kenny? I've actually talked to them on the phone and they're lovely. They wanted to do an interview. I am the worst at finding time to do an interview. But this release, I think, was back in 2021, 2022. They have it on their website. They got great information. And they have these single casks that may have had a bit of journey. This journey is a Glenrothes or Glenrothes. Why doesn't someone let me know how to say that? And it is a 9-year-old Scotch. Now, the beauty of these bottles is they're all natural, non-chill filtered, released as they should be at their natural cask strength. So this one, as I said, 9 years, so a little less than that, an ex-bourbon. And then this one's finished in Madeira cask, which I think is a Portuguese fortified wine. And it's 57.4%. So let's talk a little bit about this Scotch itself. This is Glenrothes, 9-year, 54% on the nose. This is so much cooked berries and jams. We've got raspberry and strawberry. Got a little bit of darkness in there, a little bit of dark leather, a little bit of dark, like something a bit older, so maybe cooked down berries. And a good, malty character too. So maybe slightly something else going on. Let's see what the palate tells us though on this 9-year-old Sláinte. I like that though. That is big and bold. Got a little bit of nuts, but this is a little bit slightly bitter nuts, so kind of a walnut, not a sweet almond toasted oak, but a walnut darker kind of, slightly bitter, but it's got lots of dark cherry, blackberry. Because I was gonna say raspberry and then cherry, but no, it's more like a blackberry, so it's kind of a little bit tart. Gonna try a little sip. Sláinte. Wow. So I'm not sure why it's just so, resinous and dark, but it really is for me. It's a bit spicy, a bit hot, a bit aggressive on the back end of the palate, but it's got this interplay of that sweetness on the nose with the darker, slightly bitter, but it's in a good way, kind of nuts and maybe unsweetened cocoa or unsweetened dark chocolate, and then some older oak. I absolutely really enjoy this bottle. It's a great release. I think it might align with a little bit more feelings of sherry than Madeira, but boy, that is a nice nutty, chocolatey, slightly bitter, but in a good way. Like in that unsweetened chocolate should be unsweetened, shouldn't be too in one way or another. Having said that, the nose and there's some high sweetness in there too. Anyways, I definitely like that one. This Inchfad has actually been sitting on my shelf for quite a while. This is a 14-year release, and they gave even more insight. I can't remember, it's 13 and a bit in ex-bourbon, and then finished in first fill PX sherry casks. Came out a while ago. Inchfad is, I don't even know if it's still going on right now, but it's the peated side of Loch Lomond Distillery. And I certainly have not had a lot of Inchfad releases. I truly haven't. Maybe a sip here, maybe a dram there, maybe a shared something. But in terms of bottles on the shelf, this is actually the only bottle that I've had from that peated side of Loch Lomond. I think it's a bit... Oh, did I get those mixed up? Oh, I did. Me and my glasses. Sorry, this one was 57.4 and this is 54.7, just to keep me on my toes and mixed up. But as I said, it's a little bit older, right? Instead of 9 years, we're now 14 years, and this is a peated single malt. They're both single malts. So let's give this one a nose and a taste. You know, like, this is so wildly different than this one. This is, as I said, peated, right? So right away you've got, for me, a very vegetable peat. It's smoldery. It's old hay. It's vegetable, as I said, like moss, barn floor, forest floor, that kind of stuff. That's sweet too, sweet on the nose. You know, I think this is PX, and boy, that usually is a very sweet sherry, but right now it's just coming off as kind of a sweet sugar. So like a sweet malt, a sugared malt, candy floss, kind of like high sweetness, and then all of that vegetable peat. Vegetal? Anyways, let's try it on the palate. Sludge. Wow, that is bold. It is spicy and peaty, and I've heard it say by many others, so I will say it here, funky. And what could that be? Well, funky to me here is like what is that second layer? I was mentioning, you know, hay and barn floor and forest floor, and that's kind of the funk, but there's a little bit of fuel oil in there, a little bit of you know, diesel fuel type, a little bit of aroma going on. It's got a just that really, I don't know, unique fuel, peat, not quite musty, but boy, it's almost hard to describe. Better take another sip, Slaja. But it is so good. It also has some nuts in it too. These nuts are, I have to pick something different. It is different. It's not walnuts, but you always got to think, okay, well, like what's a taste that can describe this? Almost a hazelnut, chocolate, sweet, but peaty and funky and oily and chewy and not for the faint of heart. I don't think this whiskey would hit a lot of notes. This Glenrothes would be way more appealing for people. Really, it drinks kind of like a sweet, little different sherried Scotch, whereas this has got all kinds of just fun peat and sweetness from that PX. It's got, I'm not getting a lot of berries off it, but it does have a sweeter malt from that PX. You know, just talking about independent bottlers, this is where I was going with the recommendation for gifts. Buying a person who's really into whiskey, like this is show stuff. I got bottles back there, and you know, when my wife goes to buy me something that I haven't heard of before, it's really tough. It's really tough for her. But I've told her, like, go into a shop, look around, find something on sale, you know, but talk to the owner and find something unique. A single cask, a store pick, or an independent bottle. The reason is they likely have an experience that I haven't had. Right? I've had lots of Glenrothes or Glenrothes before, a variety of them, and I like them, but I haven't had this unique expression, and that's what's kind of cool. They're not just part of the core range. So if you're looking to buy a Scotch or a whiskey for someone who's pretty down this rabbit hole, independent bottles are cool. Now, having said that, we're an opinionated group, and we might talk to you at length about how we didn't enjoy that bottle, but actually we enjoyed not enjoying that bottle. I know that is really hard to understand, but on this journey, I am already looking for unique or different, or, you know, what's the story? And these kind of bottles offer that. And I have to say, this Dràm Mòr group, they've now been in Canada, like I think since 2021, and all of their releases have been quality and excellent. So specifically, anything in the Dràm Mòr line, I would recommend heartily for Christmas. I wasn't sure about what I wanted to say online about the passing of my friend through YouTube, through online, Big Al. He really filled my experience here with joy. He has a big personality. I loved watching when he would do reviews, but I know he had been away for a while struggling with his health. And I'll tell you, Al had a way of reaching through the comments and connecting with you. Like lots of people comment, and I'm thankful for every one of them, but Al immediately and then sustained had a way of being a friend at a distance, caring about what was going on in my life, and the comments reflected that, and so he became a friend, and he passed away far before his time. And obviously, I don't know him a fraction as well as I could or should have, or a fraction as well as his family and friends, like True beside him did. And I regret that I never sat at a table with him. And I bet we would have laughed till we cried because he's such a big personality and a great guy. So I really wasn't sure of shooting this, but it's been on my heart. And Al, I thought of this actually, something bold and big and a little bit dirty, as something that I know you would really enjoy, or you'd hate, but it would be an experience to share together. And so I want to ask the community if you're still on here, and it's way at the end, and who wants to tune in for this stuff. But to Big Al, may the drams you enjoy in heaven be outstanding, and may one day I'll clink a glass and share some stories with you. To you, and my prayers to your family. To Al.